If you love the taste of fresh homemade pasta, then you came to the right place, because right now I'm going to show you how to make your own fresh pasta at home from scratch, and as a bonus, how you can dry it so you can make the pasta dish of your dreams anytime you like. To make the pasta dough, start with a nice large bowl, preferably one with a wide bottom. Some people like to do this directly on the countertop, but it's going to be a lot easier to just use a big bowl. I'm going to start with 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and if you can get 00 flour, that's even better. Add a good healthy pinch of salt, and make a nice deep well in the center. And in that little well, I'm going to crack 4 eggs. If my eggs are really small, I'll use 5, but usually 4 is enough. Now using a fork, scramble those eggs as if you're ready to make an omelet. Just keep scrambling them away, and as you do this, start pulling in the flour from the sides. And in case you were wondering, this should make enough pasta to feed 4 to 6 people. Pretty soon you're going to end up with this dry, crumbly mixture. Now you want to bind it together into a dough using some water. And how much water really depends on your flour and the size of your eggs. Just add it in slowly bit by bit so that it forms a kneadable dough. So if you accidentally add too much water and make it sticky, you can always add some more flour. Your aim is to end up with a dough that's not too sticky, but not too dry either. You want to be able to knead it quite easily. In total, I probably added about half a cup of water, but your amount might be different. Once your dough starts to come together, start getting in there with your hands and kneading it, because that's going to be the only way that you'll really know whether you need more water or not. So this dough here is looking pretty good. Now you'll want to knead it for about 10 minutes. And this is what it's going to look like. It'll be completely vein-free and really smooth and supple to the touch. And because it's developed a lot of gluten, it's going to feel a little bit stretchy, but pretty firm at the same time. Now we have to let it rest for 30 minutes to an hour, and I always like to divide it in half. And in case you were wondering about doing this ahead of time, pasta dough doesn't keep very well in the fridge for more than 24 hours. It begins to turn gray and shows up in the final product, so keep that in mind. But cover them in plastic, let them rest, and when you're ready to roll out your noodles, get yourself a cup of flour handy, and I'm going to show you 2 ways to roll your noodles, one by hand and one with the machine. Let me show you what this looks like after a good rest. The consistency is quite different. It's really relaxed and flexible and ready to roll into noodles. So anytime you're rolling pasta, it's always best to work in small pieces, and any pieces that you're not working with, always keep them covered with plastic so they don't dry out. Sprinkle a good dusting of flour on your board, grab yourself a rolling pin, and just start rolling away. Generally, you want to try and go for a good thin sheet of pasta, but some people do like thicker noodles, so if that's you, roll it a little thicker. One thing you're probably going to notice is you're going to run into moments where your dough will start to resist. And if that happens, just let it rest for another 10 minutes or so. It will relax and become easier to roll. But you can hold it down if you want to roll it so it kind of expands. Sometimes you can even stretch the dough by hand like this to kind of help it along. Whatever it takes, just enjoy the process. Because given the crazy world we're living in today, doing this is very therapeutic. And eventually, you're going to end up with a pasta sheet that looks something like this. I'd say this is a little less than 1/8 of an inch thick, and again, if you prefer thicker noodles, you don't have to roll it this thin. So now we're ready to start cutting this into noodles, and the easiest way to do that is to roll it up. So give it a good generous dusting of flour, and just roll it up as if you're making cinnamon rolls. Do make sure that each time you roll it, you also dust the exposed part of pasta, because this can be pretty bad for sticking. You just have to do this once or twice, and then you'll know how much flour you're going to need. You also want to make sure that the board itself is floured too, because this dough went through a lot of rolling and parts of it might be sticky. So now you want to get yourself a sharp knife or a pizza cutter and just cut whatever size noodles you want. So this looks like it's about a fettuccine size. Going thicker will give you pappardelle. Going thin will give you something like spaghetti. But just like that, you have yourself some beautiful hand-cut noodles. Yes, this is how they made pasta back in the old days when they didn't have a lot of machines and it is really the best way to do it. Now, if you wanted to cook this right away, I recommend letting it dry for about 15 minutes first, directly on the cutting board like this. Just make sure you have a little flour sprinkled on them, so they don't stick together. But if you wanted to dry your noodles for longer term storage, I recommend getting yourself one of these. They're really inexpensive to buy, and I'll link in the description below how you can order your own, whether you're in Canada or in the US. Just put it together and now you can hang your noodles just like you hang your laundry. If you plan to make your own pasta often, then these things are a really great investment. Now, my favorite way to roll out pasta dough is to use one of these, a pasta rolling machine. I'll also link how you can order one of these in the description. It comes with this little piece that allows you to fasten it to any table, and of course this handle here allows you to crank the pasta dough through. And believe me, it's way easier than rolling it by hand. This little knob right here adjusts the thickness of the pasta, and the highest setting, which is number 7, is the thickest setting. You always want to start with that. Now, have yourself your cup of flour handy because you're going to need it, and whenever you work with pasta, it's always best to work in small pieces. So I'm going to cut this into quarters. And like always, don't forget to keep any of the pieces of pasta dough that you're not working with covered in plastic because it can dry pretty quickly. Now take your piece of dough, squish it around a little bit, and now here's the proper way how to use one of these machines. The best way to do this is to pass the dough through once and then take it and now fold it like a book. This is going to form it into a nice clean rectangular shape, and it's just going to keep things a little neater. So now each time you run your pasta dough through again, you're going to want to do it 2 times at each setting. So here's once and here's twice, and you want to repeat this until you reach your desired thinness. And usually I like to go right down to number 1. So here we are bringing it down to number 6. And if this looks fun to you, that's because it is. And whenever I want to serve fresh pasta, which can be pretty often, I never buy it because I think you know by now how easy it is to do. Now, one little tip I'm going to offer to make your life easier, every now and then flour your dough. Sometimes it can fold onto itself while you're rolling it through the machine, and this will prevent it from sticking. You don't have to do it all the time, but just occasionally. And while I continue to roll away here, I just want to quickly say that if you made it this far into the video, it must mean that you're liking what you're seeing. If that's the case, then let me know by hitting that like button. And let me know in the comments what kind of sauces you like with your fresh pasta. I love hearing from you guys, and I read and even try to respond to every single comment. I appreciate each and every one of you that enjoys these videos. So as you can see here, I did have to cut my pasta sheet in half because it was getting a little long, but eventually when you get down to the number 1 setting, this is what it's going to look like. Perfectly thin and ready to be made into the lasagna of your life. Now there's a good chance your pasta roller will come with this little attachment. It's a noodle cutter that hooks directly onto the roller, and this side cuts fettuccine and this one here cuts spaghetti. How you fasten it on there is pretty straightforward. You just hook it onto the side like that. You'll see a little socket on the side where you can just transfer the handle in, and then you just take your pasta sheet and roll it through. Now, unfortunately, my cutter that came with my roller doesn't work very well. It never really did ever since I first bought it. So you can see that some of the noodles separate, but a lot of them still stay together. I used to spend more time trying to separate these noodles than rolling the pasta through itself. It's enough to raise my blood pressure, and I don't even bother using it. So when it's time to cut the noodles, I just do it the old-fashioned way. Because I do kind of like the flexibility of being able to choose how thick I want the noodles, and even if they're a little bit imperfect, I don't mind one bit. It kind of gives it more of a homemade look that I actually really like. Who wants it to look machine-made anyway? Now the more you do this, the better you'll get at it. And I'm going to show you a little trick here that will make it go way faster. Attach your pasta ends together like this to form a loop, and now try feeding it through in one piece. This takes a little practice, but with a little patience, I know you're going to master it. Keep your dough floured frequently because it can fold onto itself and stick together. And the trick here is to keep the dough nice and slack, especially on this bottom part here. That way the top part won't become tapered. It might look like I'm pulling on the dough as it's going through, but I'm actually doing the opposite. It's a balancing act between keeping it slack but not too slack. If you find that the top part of the pasta is getting tapered in the machine, then it might mean that you're pulling on it too much. Just remember to keep that dough floured from time to time, and the more you practice this, the better you'll get at it. Focus on keeping that bottom part slack, and in no time, you'll be able to call yourself a pasta pro. You've just cut your pasta making time down by less than half. So now in minutes, you can have all this pasta rolled out, ready to make a beautiful lasagna, or maybe some ravioli or tortellini, or cut them into whatever noodle shape you like. I think in a future video, I'll show you how to make all different kinds of pasta shapes, because there's so many different shapes out there that you can create with just regular kitchen tools that everyone has. So look forward to that in the near future. Alright, now let's talk about drying your pasta for longer term storage. Depending on the humidity of your house and the hydration level of your dough, it can take anywhere from 12 to 24 hours for your noodles to dry completely, and they must be completely bone dry. You're going to see them start to shrivel up, and you'll even hear them falling off the rack from time to time, which is perfectly normal. You'll know they're 100% dry when you can take a noodle and snap it perfectly in half without any bendiness going on. So the best way to store your noodles is in a nice big glass jar. You can also use any type of plastic container with a tight fitting lid or even a Ziploc bag. As long as your noodles are absolutely 100% dry, they'll last pretty much indefinitely. Every now and then I like to gift my homemade pasta, and in that case, I just give it to them in a paper bag. You can even store it for yourself this way if you plan to use it sooner than later. Just keep in mind that this type of food stored this way can eventually attract bugs, and I don't want to see an infestation in your future. Now, cooking your pasta from fresh before drying it only takes about 3 or 4 minutes. It's going to take closer to 6 or 7 minutes to cook the dried version. Just remember that when it comes to pasta, it's always better to undercook it than to overcook it. Sure, buying pasta is still very economical, and of course it's way faster and easier, but once you've tried homemade pasta, you will never want to go back. So go get out your flour and eggs and try making some right now. And when you do, use it to make the recipe in this video, a comforting, economical Hungarian cabbage and noodles dish called halushki.